Welcome, welcome, one and all. I'm Mike, the Digital Kid, and this is PC Tengine, my chronological examination of every game released for the PC Engine, also known as the TurboGrafx-16. Going by the Japanese release date for every hue card, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to play each game and tell you what I think of it. Today's game may be an arcade port, but it's a banner release for the system, for it is the port of Irem's legendary shoot-'em-up RType, released in Japan on March 25th, 1988, and on June 6th, 1988 somehow, and then in the US in November 1989. What's with the two Japanese release dates? Well, the thing of it is, the game was so detailed that it apparently couldn't fit on the 2 megabyte hue cards that the system ran on in its early days, so RType had to be split into 2 games, each half having 4 stages. RType 1 would end after the 4th stage and give you a password to enter for RType 2 to bring over all the weapons you had after stage 4, going into stage 5 and to the end of the game. But hue cards had apparently grown powerful enough that when this game was released in the West, they could fit all 8 stages onto the thing. Amazing what you can accomplish in a year. Anyway, if you know anything about RType, you know how hard it is. Can I demonstrate said hardness in the span of 10 minutes? Well, let's hit the timer and find out. And the 1, and the 2, and the start! So, RType. This game was huge back in its day. The only other shoot-'em-up around this time that had been considered anywhere near as awesome was Gradius. Or Gradius. I say Gradius, but I hear it as Gradius more often than not. We'll get to that game sometime down the line. But for now, it's RType, which was considered a veritable Gradius killer. Because, my god, the graphics on it, the smoothness, the detail. Irem really put a lot of work into their arcade games. Starting as early as this game, looks magnificent for its time. It looks even more magnificent the farther in I get. RType was notable for looking great, sounding great, and being great at murdering you. RType is just one of the most consistently incredibly difficult video game series to ever exist. I can hold myself pretty well at Gradius in general, but RType, well, in this game, I can get past the first 2 stages without much trouble. But after that, the possibility of survival is uncertain. We'll just have to see how far I can get on this. Hopefully I can at least beat Stage 3, because Stage 3 is probably the most impressive level out of all of them, relatively speaking. Yeah, RType's legacy was huge. I mean, it spawned several sequels, one of which was RType 2, not to be confused with the latter hue card release of the original game on this, also called RType 2. I forget if RType 2, the actual arcade game, actually existed when RType 2 came out on the TurboGrafx-16 as just the latter half of RType 1 here. So that nomenclature is incredibly confusing. But then you have the somewhat obscure arcade sequel RType Leo, the very awesome SNES installment RType 3, the also awesome PlayStation installment RType Delta. God, that boss is huge, even if he goes down easily. The PS2 installment RType Final, which should not have been rated E. I'm probably missing several other games in the series right now. Apparently there's going to be an RType Final 2 that's being kickstarted, which I assume went through, so that'd be great to bring the series back. Yeah, RType was big. It was considered one of the granddaddies of the shoot-'em-up genre. And I'm going to stick to calling him shoot-'em-ups because the abbreviated term shmup really seems to gaggle some people's goats, so I'm going to be cordial and not go there. I don't mind either way, really. It's the genre wherein you pilot a spaceship, or possibly a witch riding a broom, but usually a spaceship, and fly through in tight areas full of bullets and... Oh no, I died already? Ooh, not so good, chum. This is RType for you, though. Very hard game. As you can see, it gets as rough as it does as early as the second season. And without the Force Pod, your chances of survival are crappy. Wow. Okay, I thought I'd be doing a little better than this. Just a bit. I probably should have practiced on this before playing, because I'm very rusty. But yeah, what this port does do great is the attention to detail. It's practically arcade perfect. There's a little bit of flickering, I think, but it's not too noticeable for the most part. The biggest compromise that this port takes is that there is some scrolling on the screen up and down. It can't fit absolutely everything onto the screen at once, so as you can see, there's a little bit of pan and scan that goes on as I'm moving up and down here. And I don't have the reflecto laser, so this boss is going to be a pain to hit. Okay, I just have to... This boss, I believe it's called the Go-Mander, is a horrible fleshy mess. This stage, I think, takes a lot of influence from H.R. Giger's works. And again, I think everything looks like Giger. He was mentioned already 2 episodes ago in relation to Just Seiken Necromancer. Anyway, without being able to shoot the giant blue eyeball, I have to just maneuver myself over it and very, very gradually die, apparently. Wow, this is disappointing. I am sorry. I gotta say, I think I've gotten much worse at RType over the years. I used to be somewhat decent at it. Now I'm less than decent. In fact, I am the opposite of decent. I am anti-decent at RType now. Okay, good. I at least get the actual power-up that allows me to fire the reflecto lasers. That should hopefully damage the boss then, more than just floating the force above its eyeball would do. Also, this port does have limited continues, and frankly, I need more than 3 credits to beat RType, so good luck beating it. Ever. Oh, Lord. I mean, last time I played, I'm pretty sure I spent 10 credits trying to beat the penultimate level. There's this one part where it just, like, conga lines you with enemies that is just completely awful. And, oh, man. Okay. Well, we can at least beat the second stage, that's something. Can we beat the third? Well, let's find out. I'm glad I can at least show off the third level, which is a big fat battle against a giant warship. Freaking armed to the gills with... Oh my god, that almost killed me. All sorts of crap on it, as you can see. And rarely any slowdown. This really did a great job at... Except for the pan and scan, it is pretty much... nearly perfect arcade port for the time. I mean, not as perfect as the RType's collection of RType 1 and 2 with a lot of nifty extras would do on the PlayStation. But it's still really a good early example of what a good port should be. I mean, we looked at a pretty good port also last episode with Yokai Dochuki, but this is often considered a staple example of what a good arcade port should be. And really showing off its power over the NES, which usually couldn't deliver one-to-one arcade ports. I mean, heck, you know, the original Donkey Kong was compromised. It didn't have the factory level with the pies, and oh god, should I even be in here? Oh geez, okay. Oh god, oh no! I'm not dead yet! I'm not dead yet! Haha! How did I not die? I really think I should have. I think I cheated death. Oh well. Okay, now how am I going to get out of this? What we gotta do is try and destroy that purple dingus but the ship's not giving me a great amount of opportunity to do so. That purple dingus on the left that's shooting out all the blue balls. I could have said that a lot better, I'm sure. Okay. I gotta find a good opportunity to try and wedge our way down there. Oh, geez, all its guns came back. Okay, good. That did some damage to it. Okay. It's got a little linger there. Ah! We got it! Somehow! Alright. That's usually as far as I can get in RType reliably. Stage 4 is just a huge sledgehammer of crap. It has these guys that fill the stage with... They fly around erratically and they fill them with all sorts of little dinghies that you have to shoot your way through. And that your lasers, your force lasers, usually can't penetrate through. Well, your force can eat through them at least, so that's good. Embarrassing performance in Stage 2, but I'm glad I picked up. I got as far as I wanted to, because Stage 4 is usually where things get embarrassing. Okay, it seems like the air-to-air laser works well, though. Or the candy stripe laser, as I also call it. Oh, nuts! But we get stomped on by some goons, and that is the end of that. It's just as well. This plays out of juice anyway. So, at a very appropriate time, we stop. Alrighty, so this has been RType on the PC Engine / TurboGrafx 16. Considered a very fantastic one-to-one port. If you want me to show off actually just something quickly, RType Part 2, as it were, the latter half hue card that was released. As you can see, it starts right in the midst of Episode 5. Stage 5, not Episode 5. It's not long enough to be an episode. But, let me see. I wonder how far I can get in this. Well, I'd have to time myself. Yeah, you know what? You get the idea. Well, this is RType. It is a really very legendary shoot-'em-up. And legendarily punishing. And was considered one of the best games to get for the TurboGrafx 16 back then. The split with the hue cards on the Japanese version was pretty weird, but it was a necessary measure they had to take for space's sake. Apparently so, anyway. But other than that, great coding job. Real blast from the past playing this one. I may not be as great at it as I used to be, if I was ever really great at it, but it's still a really fun, if not brutal game. And I want to say this has been the best episode of PC Tengine so far, but I can't really qualify that. Only you can. Whoever you are, be sure to tell your friends about PC Tengine. I'm Mike, the Digital Kid. This has been Episode 8, RType, and I'll see you next time for whatever that game will be. Peace, everyone.